The notion of time travel has always fascinated people, usually popularised in movies, TV shows and books. We are fixated on the events of the past, sometimes question, for example, if killing baby Hitler would have changed the course of world history for the better. What if time travel isn't fiction? Today we'll be showcasing what could possibly be real-life evidence of time travel. These are 10 counts of possible evidence of time travel throughout history that just might change your mind. If they are not time travellers, you must admit that some are downright spooky. Number 10. Woman speaking on a mobile phone. A mysterious video emerged from 1938 showing a woman speaking on a mobile phone. Found in 2013, this footage could indicate evidence of the existence of time travel. However, her grandchildren came forward and explained, well, we asked her about this and she remembers it quite clearly. She says DuPont had a telephone communications section in the factory where she worked. Well, yes, but that does not explain what she's holding up to her face. Number 9. Time traveller at a football game. This footage was recorded during a live football match in Uruguay. During a live football match, a shadowy figure can be seen running through an aisle at super speed. The figure seems to be running through people at an incredible speed. Number 8. The Mohawk haircut. The Mohawk haircut didn't appear until the 1939 movie Drums Along the Mohawk, starring Henry Fonda. So it might surprise you that this photograph of a man with a Mohawk haircut is from 1905. This haircut only gained popularity in the 1970s, so how on earth did a man from 1905 choose such a futuristic hairstyle? Number 7. Time travelling hipster. This is a famous photograph that started the time travel craze. It was taken in the early 1940s at the reopening of South Fork Bridge in Goldbridge, British Columbia. At first glance, nothing appears to be at odd with this black and white photo. However, on close inspection, a man can clearly be seen wearing sunglasses, a modern haircut, and a modern logo printed faded t-shirt and cardigan. He is also noticeably taller than the other men around him. Sunglasses weren't around that time, and notice how he seems to be holding a pocket-sized digital camera around his neck, which he is holding in his hands. Could this man be a time traveller? Number 6. Woman talking on a mobile phone. This footage was captured from behind the scenes of Charlie Chaplin's The Circus. A woman dressed in a black hat seems to be hiding most of her face and is holding something to her ear that looks like one of today's mobile phones. What makes it more eerie is that the woman seems to be talking to someone, even to the point where she stops to chat on the device. Number 5. Swiss watch found in an ancient Chinese tomb. Chinese archaeologists claim to have found a small ring in the shape of a watch in 2008 when they opened a previously undisturbed giant coffin. But it may surprise you that the coffin was in a 400-year-old tomb in Siqing in Shaanxi County, China. So how on earth did a ring that looked exactly like a Swiss watch from the present day get inside a 400-year-old tomb? This shocking discovery appeared to show a time frozen at 10:06 and Swiss engraved on the back. Could this be a sign of future time travel? Number 4. 1800s astronaut. This sculpture can be found on a pillar at Salamanca Cathedral Church in Spain. It clearly shows an astronaut, and however you'd be surprised to hear that the church was built between the 1600s and 1800s, so well before space travel. How on earth did they carve this spaceman with his suit looking exactly like today's astronauts? Could this be evidence of a spaceman travelling from the future back in time? Number 3. Ancient man-made object. This next evidence of time travel comes from a mysterious prehistoric high-tech artifact. Inside this piece of rock appears to be a man-made object that looks like an indent of an industrial screw. Discovered in 2009 in the village of Sarajevo in the Moscow region of Russia, very little is known about this curious object. A similar object also found in Russia is said to be a 300 million year old aluminium gear. Some theorists believe that ancient artifacts like this are proof of support for the ancient astronauts theory. Number 2. Mysterious time traveller. The urban legend goes that during June 1950, passersby at New York City's Times Square noticed a strange-looking man of about 20 years of age, dressed in 1800s clothing, looking disoriented and confused while standing in the middle of an intersection. The man was then hit and killed by a taxi. The officials at the morgue searched his body and found the following items in his pocket: old copper tokens, a letter from 1876, business cards with the name Rudolph Fentz, and other old but new-looking documents. After investigating the man, an NYPD policeman found that Rudolph Fentz had disappeared in 1876. Had Fentz travelled into the future by accident? Number 1. The Cape Scott Story. This photograph was discovered in a book called The Cape Scott Story by James Grant. The photo, taken in Cape Scott Park, dates back to 1917 and shows holidaymakers dressed in typical attire from that time. However, if you look closely, there is one man that clearly looks out of place. This mysterious time traveller has longish hair and is wearing a grungy t-shirt and looks more like a Nirvana fan from the 1990s. Even more eerie is that the men on either side of him seem to be staring at him in disbelief.